Hey guys, it's Miss Mills, and today I'm going to go over a lesson that I've put together for you over main idea and summarizing. This goes along with your NTI Day 12 work, which is over main idea and summarizing. Right, let's go into it. Okay, the agenda for this lesson. We're going to go over learning targets. You have a pre-test that's on a Google form, but you need to hear the paragraph that goes along with it that's in this lesson. Okay, this Google Slides, Google presentation will be up on the Google Classroom for you to look over yourself so you can read the paragraph on your own or listen to me up to that point in the video to hear it before going on in the video to the content, because I'd like to know what you guys already know before I cover what is in this lesson. Next we'll have a discussion over main idea, discussion over summary, and then a strategy to remember the difference between main idea and summarizing. And I'll go deeper into that whenever we get to those slides. It may be a little bit confusing, but I think I've figured it out. And there is a slide where I will explain the difference between supporting and key details, or supporting details and key details, because I thought that maybe that would get confusing if you saw that on one question and key details on another one, and you would ask yourself, is that the same thing? Are they the same thing? And then the last thing I will need you guys to do after you hear the content of this lesson is do the post-test, which is on a Google form. Both the pre-test and the post-test are both 3 questions long, guys. It will not be that difficult for you to do, and I just hope that I've done it right. Alright, let's go over learning targets. I can determine the main idea of a text and use supporting details from the text to prove my answer. And the second learning target is I can use information from a text to summarize the main points of that text. Right, before you take the pre-test, read this paragraph. Okay, I got this from chapter 3 of the book Who Was King Tut by Roberta Edwards. Okay, and the paragraph says, before Howard Carter found Tut's tomb in 1922, people thought every single tomb of a pharaoh had been opened and robbed. That was why Carter's discovery was such an important event. There always had been legends about the fabulous treasures of the pharaohs. Now there was proof. The legends were true. And after hearing that or reading that, you need to take this pre-test. Okay, I would like to have that data to see how much you guys know before I go on into the content of this lesson. So I'll give you a few seconds to click pause on this video if you are watching this after I have filmed it to take that test. Okay, I go on. What is main idea? The main idea is usually one sentence. It sums up the important details in a passage or a paragraph or a chapter, and it can sometimes be found inside the paragraph or passage or article. Okay, what you'll read in your NTI work is a short passage about pyramids, I believe. That's one of the reasons why I chose a little paragraph out of the book Who Was King Tut, because your NTI work already had to do with ancient Egypt and so on and so forth. So now you know what main idea is. It just sums up the important details in a passage. Okay, what is a summary, or what is summarizing? A summary is usually a paragraph. It includes the main idea and the key points of a text. No deep or concise details are given. So small details that you really wouldn't want to know, or need to know, I should say, about a story. To know the gist of it, you don't need to give it in a summary. And the main or key points are written in your own words. Okay, this is a strategy to tell what a main idea is from a summary. Okay, the main idea is like a tabletop. And the supporting details in a story to prove that main idea are like the table's legs. So down here it says the main idea is proved or supported by the supporting details, like a table is supported by its legs. And how to tell a summary from a main idea. Why I say that a summary is more like a table with chairs is that the table is the main idea, and the chairs around it, they are like the key details. And the reason that I stayed with this analogy is because whenever I was thinking about Howard Carter's discovery of King Tut's tomb back in 1922, they really had no idea how to read the hieroglyphics on the walls of his tomb. They didn't know anything about the treasures that they found in his tomb. So whenever they figured out, okay, this is big, this is King Tut, okay, they knew that it was that it was King Tut. Well, that was the main idea. Now they had to sum up his life with the things that they found in his tomb, like the hieroglyphics and the treasures. Were there other sarcophagi in there that could have had other bodies of people, servants, animals possibly, in there with him? They had to sum up his life with what they were given. Okay, now here's something. The difference between supporting details and key details. Supporting details prove the main idea, but they do not summarize the story. Okay, supporting details, they prove the main idea. They are not part of the summary of a story. They don't give any important details. Key details are the most important parts of a story, but do not prove the main idea. Okay, the main idea is actually supposed to be the first part of the summary, and then the key details are under it. So they do not prove the main idea. They're not supporting details. I thought that was important to include. Okay, before you take the post test, please read the following paragraph from Who Was King Tut by Roberta Edwards, and it's called The Rosetta Stone. I think I actually got it from the same chapter that I got that paragraph about Howard Carter from chapter 3. So, yes, I'm going to read it. Okay, and this passage is called The Rosetta Stone. If it weren't for a lucky accident, the meaning of hieroglyphs might still be a mystery. In 1799, French soldiers found a large piece of black stone called basalt. The stone had carvings in 3 different scripts, hieroglyphs, Greek, and a third kind called Demotic. The words on the stone were written in 196 BC to praise a pharaoh named Ptolemy V. All 3 languages were commonly used at the time so that whoever saw the stone could read it. By the 1800s, no one knew how to read hieroglyphs, but if someone could match up the Greek and the Demotic to the hieroglyphs, they could create a key to hieroglyphs. Jean-Francois Champollion, I believe I said that right, finally figured out the basic rules of hieroglyphs. after studying the stone for 14 years. Finally, after almost 1,500 years of silence, the language of ancient Egypt could at last be heard. The stone is called the Rosetta Stone after the town where it was found. Today it is in the British Museum in London, England. Okay, post-test Google form link. Right, there is the link that you can get to or access in the Google Classroom. I very much need you to take this test so I can see what you learned from this lesson that I've made. Okay, thank you very much for listening and paying attention to this lesson. If you have any questions, please let me or Miss Whitus know so we can help you answer any questions that you have. Thank you.